So we're doing today revision of lesson number 63. Okay? Are the bottoms of your shoes clean? Are the bottoms of your shoes clean? No.
And also of the shoes are
Not the shoes, my shoes.
My shoes aren't clean, they are dirty.
Not dirty, dirty.
Dirty.
Good. When our shoes are dirty, what should we do? When our shoes are dirty, what should we do? When our shoes are
When our shoes are dirty, we should clean them.
Good. Which do you think is the cleanest city you know of? Which do you think is the cleanest city you know of?
I think that I think Rome is the cleaner city.
Not cleaner, cleanest city.
Cleanest city
I know of.
I know.
Good. And which do you think is the dirtiest? And which do you think is the dirtiest?
I think Venice is the dirtiest city.
Not dirtiest. Dirtiest?
Dirtiest city I know.
Good. Okay. Which do you think is less unpleasant? The dirt of the city or the dirt of the country, of the farm, etc.? Which do you think is less unpleasant? The dirt of the city or dirt of the country, of the farm, etc.? I think the dirt.
I think of the dirt of
Not I think of. I think the
I
dirt
think the
of.
dirt of the country is less unpleasant than the dirt of the city.
The city. Good. Do you remember if you were afraid of the dark when you were a little child? Do you remember if you were afraid of the dark when you were a little child? Yes or no?
Yes, I remember I was afraid.
Not afraid. Afraid.
Afraid of the dark
When I was.
when I was a little child.
Good. Would you be afraid to go around the world in a small open boat? Would you be afraid to go around the world in a small open boat? Yes or no?
Yes, I would be afraid
to go
around the world
in a small
open boat.
Good. Do people shake when they feel very afraid? Do people shake when they feel very afraid? Yes.
Yes, people shake when they feel very afraid.
Good. What's the best way to guard against becoming ill? What's the best way to guard against becoming ill? The best way?
The best way to guard against becoming ill is eat healthy food, sleep well, and do that exercise.
Good. Must we be on our guard when we buy something from a man selling things in the street? Must we be on our guard when we buy something from a man selling things in the street? Yes or no?
Yes, we must be on our guard.
When we buy something.
When you buy something from a man selling things in the street.
Good. Why? Why? Because maybe we won't.
Because maybe
We won't be able.
We won't be able to find
him
again.
If there's a problem.
If there is a problem with the
thing
thing,
we have bought.
we won't.
Good. What's the opposite of on your guard? What's the opposite of on your guard? The opposite?
The opposite of on your guard is
off your guard.
Off your guard.
Great. What's the best way to calm somebody down when he's very angry? What's the best way to calm somebody down when he's very angry? The best way?
The best way to calm somebody down.
Not somebody,
somebody down when he's very angry
is
to speak
quietly
and pleasantly to him.
Good. Are we having calm weather at the moment? Yes or no?
Yes, we are having calm
weather
weather
at the moment. Good. Okay. What are the two ways of forming the second conditional with the verb to be? What are the two ways of forming the second conditional with the verb to be? The two ways?
The two ways of forming the second conditional with the verb to be are
if I was,
if I was,
and if
I were.
Good. If you were a millionaire, where would you live? If you were a millionaire, where would you live? If I were
a millionaire, I would live in Australia.
Good. Why?
Because it's this country is beautiful.
Because it's a beautiful country.
It's a beautiful country.
Good. If I were you, which language would I speak? If I were you, which language would I speak? If you were
me, you would speak Ukrainian.
Good. If you were a king, what would your wife be called? If you were a king, what would your wife be called? If I were
if you were a king, my wife would be called the queen.
A queen.
A queen.
If there wasn't a light in this room, would we be able to see well when it got dark? If there wasn't a light in this room, would we be able to see well when it got dark? Yes or no?
No.
If there wasn't
a light in this room,
we
wouldn't be able to see well when it got dark.
If there weren't any food
Yes, if there weren't any food in the world, we would collect.
If you weren't you, who would you like to be? If you weren't you, who would you like to be? If I were it?
If I were me, I would like to be Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes. Why? Why?
Because I like watch films with Sherlock Holmes.
Because I like watching films of Sherlock Holmes.
Because I like watching films of Sherlock Holmes.
Good. Can we use the expression if I were you to give advice to somebody? Can we use the expression if I were you to give advice to somebody? Yes or no?
Yes, we can use the expression if I were
Not expression, expression.
Expression if I were
Not expression, expression.
Expression.
Good.
If I were you to give advice to somebody.
Good. Give me an example, please. Give me an example.
If I were you,
I would.
I would eat more vegetables.
Not vegetables, vegetables.
Vegetables.
Good. What's the biggest problem in your life at the moment? What's the biggest problem in your life at the moment? The biggest problem.
The biggest problem in my life at the moment is a boring friend.
Okay. Give him some advice, please. Give him some advice, please.
If I were you, I would go.
I would go.
I would go to Spain.
Good. What's another opposite of the word lose besides find? What's another opposite of the word lose besides find?
There's another opposite of the word.
Another opposite.
Another opposite of the word.
Not word, verb.
Verb. Lose besides find is win. Okay.
What are the three forms of win? What are the three forms of win? The three forms?
The three forms of win is win.
Not is, are.
Win, won, won.
Good. Does your country usually win at football? Does your country usually win at football? Yes or no?
No, my country don't usually.
My country?
Don't usually.
My country?
Win at football.
Okay.
It usually loses.
It usually loses. Not it's. It usually loses.
It usually loses.
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 Okay. Do you do the lottery? Do you do the lottery? Yes or no?
No, I don't do the lottery.
Good. Have you ever won? Have you ever won? Yes or no?
No, I've never won.
Good. If you won £1 million, what would you do with it? If you won £1 million, what would you do with it? If I won?
If I won £1 million, I would to buy.
Not to buy. I would buy.
I would buy a penthouse.
A penthouse. Good. Is this pen useless? Is this pen useless? Yes or no?
No, this pen isn't useless. It's useful.
Good. What do we do with useless things? What do we do with useless things? We
throw useless things away.
Good. What are the two most useful things you possess? What are the two most useful things you possess? The two most
useful things
I
I possess are my tablet and my phone.
Good. Do you think that what you're learning now will be useful to you later on in life? Do you think that what you're learning now will be useful to you later on in life? Yes or no?
Yes, I think that what I'm learning now will be useful for me later.
For me, to me.
To me later on my life.
Not on my life,
In
life.
life.
Good. Why? Why?
Because
It will
help
me
help me to get work and speak to people.
not people
People
from
from other countries.
countries.